Hello, everyone, and welcome to Russell's lab inside of SteamVR's Environments, a preview look at just one of the environments that will be in the full game of Half Life Alyx. Now, for those of you new to VR that are watching this is not the actual game. This is just an environment that's inside of SteamVR. I can't really interact with everything as it would be in the final game, and I can only pick up a limited amount of objects, and the physics are definitely not final in this environment. It's literally you want to think of this as a museum. It's literally just to walk around in what is potentially going to be the final look of Russell's lab. And so you'll be able to get to see all the details in here and how things are going to look lighting and detail wise. And from what I've seen, it is very advanced looking. When you're in here inside of virtual reality, everything is very convincing, very realistic looking, very immersive. And so I just want to kind of start off and speak to the folks that maybe not have worn VR before. You guys that are watching that are brand new to VR, you are watching this on a screen. You're looking at the screen moving around right now, watching this on your television set, your phone, or your monitor, or your tablet. But when you're inside of virtual reality, you don't get that. It feels like you're actually there. When you look around, it just feels like you're kind of looking around a room. There is no screen. You just exist in the place. So think of the video that you're watching right now as sort of me filming on a GoPro cam inside of the environment that I actually exist in. So it's very realistic. The height, the depth, the volume, and the lighting, everything that's around you, it just comes to life, right? So with that said, let's move on to the actual meat and potatoes of this place. So I went back and actually played Half-Life 2 on my live stream, and it's been about 15 years since I've seen this game, you guys. And you know what immediately hit me with playing one of Valve's games again is in the past 8 years, I have never played a game with such good level design. Their level design, the way the enemies spawn in, and the set piece events that happen. Half-Life 2 kept us on the edge of our seat through every section that we went through, and you really don't get that from games today, right? Games today, you play them and it might be good, it might be really graphically empowering, and it looks great. But then you go back and play Half-Life 2, and this game doesn't have, it's 15 years old. It doesn't have great textures, but you know what really brought it together that makes it still exciting and hold up today and make it remain an epic game to play is the level design, the lighting, the sound design, the detail, the attention to detail of creating an illusion that there is a lot more happening around you than you can see. But you can hear it, and things feel like they're dynamically happening, even though you're hitting all these hot spots, and just the scope of the world just feels larger than it actually is, and that is just a really cool illusion. I am interested to see if Valve has retained that sense of having great sound design, great set pieces, action that keeps going from set piece to set piece. Do they still have that power after 15 years? Because if they do, then Half-Life Alyx is going to be tremendous. Now, that said, me going around this little environment here in Russell's lab is absolutely stunning, and we're going to get into that and a lot more in just a few minutes. Now, as you might have already noticed, Valve has not lost their attention to detail, and holy cow, once we step into Russell's actual lab here, this is just one of his rooms off to the side, you guys. Once we get in there, you're going to see that I am convinced just from looking at this one area in Russell's place that Valve has not lost the touch to the attention to detail. Now, one of the things that I really love to do in VR games, you guys, is I love to explore. I am very much, even in normal games, when I play normal games, I like to go around and I admire the things that developers probably think that most gamers don't even look at. Pictures on the wall, clothing, the way an environment is built so I can get the story from it. I want to know, how does this person live? What happened here? And so with VR games, you can really get into that. I can literally spend 45 minutes to an hour in one room if a developer has worked on it hard enough to where I will just go around and I will look at everything. I want to know, what is Russell like? What kind of clothes does he like? We can hear what kind of music he likes to listen to. What is going on in this place, right? And when you're in there in VR, it almost feels like you become an actor, because that's what an actor does, right? When they're getting into their role, they want to know, how does these characters live? What do they do? What do they, what encompasses their life, right? And so in VR, when you can be in the room and you're walking around this place that feels real, now you're more obligated to look around, to feel out the place, to look at everything, right? And so you're going to be playing a lot more slower than you do in a normal game, whereas you're running around in an FPS really fast, just trying to kill enemies. And I think that that is a new push for VR, right? This is a new thing to encompass, right? You want to take that in. This is a new kind of pacing, right, for VR games. And I think developers should embrace this attention to detail going forward with these kinds of games. I feel it's important. It will really pull the player into feeling like that they're in a movie or a scene or, a place, a living, breathing world. And I love that. So now, as you can see, we have stepped into Russell's actual laboratory workshop. And so you can see all the computer chips and computer parts and the insulation going on in the ceiling, and there's wires everywhere and everything. There's just so much to look at. It is mind-blowing. And so as we take a look in the fridge right over here, you can see like all the food inside. And we're gonna throw all that mess out, and I take a look really closely as a lot of it. But look in there really closely, you guys. I thought that that was a chicken sitting in there, but then upon closer inspection, that is definitely not a chicken. That is, yes, it is a head crab, and it is well preserved. And it's wrapped in plastic. And look at all the lighting and the detail when you get close, you guys. Holy crap. I am so excited. So just like all of the lighting inside the fridge, the fact that you can go in there and just mess around, and wow. And then coming up in just a moment, I'm going to show you right here. This is a place that most people, when they come in here, they're not going to go back here, but you can go back behind the computers, you guys. I'm going to squeeze back here and look at this. There's stuff back here. There's a mess of wires back here. The detail just doesn't stop. And this is why I feel like Half Life Alyx is going to be a special experience, because there's just detail going on for days in this one room. And it looks amazing. Holy crap. And so with this concept of just packing all kinds of cool things in obscure places, right? Where developers know that somebody might look, but maybe most players might not, but maybe there's some players that will look in these unexpected areas. Valve could pack jump scares or little tiny events that happen. Let's think back to Half-Life 1 and the casserole, right? So now you can go above and beyond with that idea. And, somebody could, a player could think that they're going somewhere that they don't think that they belong, right? And then they get back there or wherever it is, and then Valve can throw something at them, right? Something special. It could be a jump scare, it could be an Easter egg, it could be anything. The ideas are endless with this concept of people exploring and then coming across secrets or just a little tiny event that is it feels like it's special and just for them. It could be as simple as there's a cup over in the corner. You pick it up and a spider crawls out from underneath. It's just a normal spider, but you've already seen like a dozen head crabs, so you're already on edge, and then there's a spider, like there's just so many cool ideas, many new things that could be thrown into VR. So as you can see, I'm kind of looking at everything around the room. You can see all the little tiny, tiny details that Valve has put in. Soon I'm going to walk into one of the other parts of Russel's lab. Okay, so you notice immediately from walking into Russell's little back area in the back of his lab, this is the area where Alyx is going to be either receiving or upgrading her gravity gloves. And as you can see, as we walk in here and I look at the ceiling, you see there's stuff stuck to the ceiling. What's going on in here? I want to know because I'm very curious. There's mattresses and pillows everywhere. I'm assuming there's a lot of heat. I don't know if the pillows and the mattresses are to absorb radiation. What's going on with all this in here? It looks very dangerous. If any of you guys have an answer to that, why all this equipment is sitting on mattresses and there's pillows everywhere, please answer because I'm very curious. My chat was wondering the same thing. What is this? Is it to absorb radiation? I mean, Alyx is going to be standing in here putting her hands literally and inside of these microwaves. That's super dangerous. But I mean, look at all this detail back here, you guys. I mean, inside the microwave, it actually runs. There's so much like complex detailing going on the gloves, the little tiny capacitors on it and everything. And it's if the actual game is going to be this detailed, take all my money. I mean, seriously. But I'm going to start to wrap up there. You guys have probably seen enough to get an idea that Valve may be onto something special with VR here. And I hope they are because this is juicy stuff right here. I mean, once you're in these, if this looks amazing to you on a screen, just imagine how it feels to actually be in there while you have a headset on and everything is there with in your face realness, volume, depth, height, and it's an experience, you guys. So there's one more little back room over here. There wasn't much in here. It looks like a storage area, but that's literally the last room, and that's pretty much the entirety of Russell's lab. I'm pretty excited, you guys. We only have to wait a little under 20 days now, so Half-Life is back again and in a new way, and I am very excited. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tour of Russell's lab. So there it is, you guys. Half-Life Alyx coming out March 23rd for PC VR headsets. I am excited. I think Valve might be back 100% based off of the things that I told you. I'm very excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you guys could do me a big one solid, hit the bell, ring the subscribe button, and bang on that thumbs up button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.